A very good afternoon and welcome to this edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio for the Newsfirst team. I'm Kinza Farouk. Before we take a look at your news in detail, let's take a look at your headlines.
News First headline.
In your top local story, 8 Sri Lankans rescued from cyber slave camp in Myanmar to be sent home within the next week. Water supply system in 6 districts disrupted due to prevailing weather. 4 people reported dead in motor accidents across Sri Lanka in the past 24-hour window. In your international news, South Korea, Japan, US hold naval drills amid North Korea threats. Finally, in your sports, Liverpool lost a plot in Atlanta. Defeat, says Klopp. Now your news in detail. The Sri Lankan embassy in Thailand announced that the 8 Sri Lankans rescued from the cyber slave camp in Myanmar will be sent home within the next week. A senior embassy officer says the Sri Lankans are safely accommodated at a hotel in Bangkok. She also says the necessary paperwork for their return is being prepared. The embassy says that the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, the Sri Lankan embassy in Thailand, and the IOM Sri Lanka and Thailand country officers will extend their support. The Sri Lankan embassy in Thailand further adds that the UN International Organization for Migration will provide flight tickets for the Sri Lankans. The Department of Immigration and Immigration says temporary passports were issued yesterday to facilitate the Sri Lankans' return to Sri Lanka. A few months ago, Newsfirst disclosed that 56 Sri Lankan youths were being held in an area controlled by an armed group along the Thai-Myanmar border and were forced to commit various cyber crimes. They were lured to Myanmar with promises of IT related to jobs. Following the discovery, 8 of them were rescued and were held at the Central Police Station in Myawaddy, Myanmar, for investigation into their involvement in crime. Following investigations, they were sent to Thailand yesterday via the Thai-Myanmar Friendship Bridge. Moving on to more local news, the National Water Supply and Drainage Board says disruptions to the water supply have affected 20 water supply systems due to the prevailing weather. NWSDB Deputy General Manager Development Anuja Kaluarachi says the water supply has been disrupted in 6 districts as a result. According to the Met Department, showers or thunder showers will occur at times in the eastern and rural provinces and the Hambantota district. Most other places in the island can expect showers or thunderstorms after 1 p.m. Heavy showers exceeding 100 mm are likely in some areas of the western and Sabaragamu provinces, as well as the Galle and Mathura districts. The public is kindly requested to take adequate precautions to minimize damage caused by temporary localized strong winds and lightnings during thunderstorms. The Met Department adds that on the apparent northward relative motion of the sun, it is going to be directly over the latitudes of Sri Lanka during the 5th to 15th of April of this year. The nearest areas of Sri Lanka over which the sun is overhead today are in Vanshiyakulam, Omanthai, Eramadu and Thiriyai at about 12:11 noon. In more local news, 4 people have died in motor accidents across Sri Lanka in the past 24-hour window. According to the police, these accidents were reported from Valigipola, Kandy, Koskama and Punarin. A woman died after a bus she was getting off of ran her over in Pallebadda, Valigipola. She was a 61-year-old resident of Valigipola. Another 64-year-old woman died after being hit by a private bus near the public market in Kandy. The 64-year-old resident of Tallatuoya was hit by the bus as she was crossing the road. A motorcycle accident in Koskama resulted in a fatality after colliding with a lorry. The victim was a 30-year-old resident of Galigamua. A collision along the Jaffna-Manar Road at the 4th mile post between a motorcycle and a car resulted in the death of a motorcyclist. The victim was a 37-year-old resident of Punarin. Moving on to international news.
International news.
South Korea, Japan and the United States staged long-planned joint naval exercises involving an American aircraft carrier to ensure readiness against nuclear and missile threats from North Korea, Seoul's Navy said on Friday. North Korea has been accelerating weapons development, testing solid-fuel hypersonic missiles last week, and leader Kim Jong-un said on Wednesday now was the time to be more prepared for war than ever, citing an unstable geopolitical situation. The two-day drills held in international waters between South Korea and Japan from Thursday brought together the air carrier Theodore Roosevelt and the destroyers Howard, Russell and Daniel with warships from the Asian neighbors. Finally, in your sports news.
Sports news.
Liverpool lacked tactical discipline against Atalanta on Thursday and fully deserved their 3-0 defeat in the Europa League quarter-final first leg match, manager Jurgen Klopp said. Gianluca struck either side of halftime before Mario Pasalic capped an impressive win for the Italians at Anfield as Liverpool slumped into their joint heaviest home defeat in European competition. Liverpool will seek to overturn the deficit in the second leg in Italy next week, but before that they host Crystal Palace in the Premier League on Sunday. That's all the news we have for you for this edition of Yes 101 Visual Radio. For the Newsfirst team, I'm Kenza Farooq and thank you for watching.